Hello and welcome to India Tonight. I'm Karan Thapar. As detail after shocking detail emerges of the terror attack in Lahore on the Sri Lankan cricket team, serious questions are being asked about how this was allowed to happen. Could it have been done by the LET? And what does it tell us about the state of Pakistan? To answer these issues, I have from Lahore the editor-in-chief of the Daily Times, Najam Sehti. From Islamabad, one of Pakistan's top military analysts and the author of Military Inc., Aeisha Siddiqa. And here in Delhi, the strategic affairs editor of The Hindu, Rajan. Najam Sehti, let's start with the question, who did it? The press claims that for 25 minutes, 12 terrorists fired at the Sri Lankan cricket team in broad daylight in the centre of Lahore and then simply melted away. Later, they were seen on CCTV sauntering through the bazaar, apparently unconcerned and clearly unafraid. Is this a complete lack of security, in fact a complete collapse of security, or does it suggest some level of complicity with the perpetrators?
First of all, it's not entirely clear that there were 12. We have seen pictures of 3 or 4, but 12 is a figure that has not yet been confirmed. Secondly, yes, of course, there was a security problem, and that is why we had what we had. Apparently, this is the third day, this was the third day of the match, which means that these people must have reconnoitered the route for at least 2 days earlier, which is to say that if the intelligence agencies had been on the lookout for people doing something like this, they would have found out. And finally, I think in terms of who did it, we have already written an editorial pointing the finger at the Lashkar-e-Jhangvi, which is a sectarian organization.
Writing in the Pakistani paper The News, Amir Mir, one of your country's better-known journalists, says today that he thinks that it could be possible that the Lashkar-e-Toiba was in fact attempting a hijack of the Sri Lankan cricket team so that they could hold them as hostages and as a bargaining chip to secure the release of Lakvi. You've just heard Najam Sehti say that he thinks that's an improbable theory. Do you agree that this is improbable, or do you think it could have some basis?
See, I tend to kind of agree with Najam here, because if the idea was to hijack, so they could, trade these cricketers for Lakvi and others, then why bring rocket launchers? I mean, why come with the aim of destroying the vehicle, and why throw in grenades, which might have killed these cricketers? So there was been nothing left for to kind of trade in. There could be other militant organizations.
First of all, as far as the government's negligence is concerned, I think it's more a negligence of the institutions of the state than it is of any government. The security arrangements were put in place, took them 2 months to put these security arrangements in place, and the change of a government 5 or 4 days earlier in Punjab had no impact on it. Number one. Number two, I think, and we know how bad the institutions of the state are regarding security. Some people say that the fact that they didn't means that that they're not suicide bombers, they're not Islamic jihadis. Therefore, the Indian hand is more palpable.
Do you accept that?
So those are the sort of things that are. No, as I told you, I have already said that the thing is that there may be an Indian hand in the proxy wars that are going on in Afghanistan and possibly even in Fatah. But to trace any direct links from across the border to something like this is not on.
Okay. Talking about conspiracy theories, let me put another one to you. Writing in the New York Times on the 3rd, the Pakistani author Ali Sehti, and I'm not sure if he's a relation of yours by any chance, says that there are at least some people in Pakistan who don't discount the possibility that this was done by the Pakistani state itself to prove that Pakistan is as much a victim of terror as India. Is that completely outlandish?
First of all, yes, Ali Sehti happens to be my son. He wrote this piece off his own bat. I had no idea he'd written it, so those are his views. Secondly, I'd like to comment on three things. First, the point that you just raised. Yes, there are people here who believe in conspiracy theories. The range of conspiracy theories is Raw did it, the government did it, and some people say the state did it. State meaning the agencies did it without the knowledge of the government. So there are all manner of conspiracy theories.